She plays Cheryl Blossom, the lovely Madeline Ketch. Our Veronica Lodge, the one and only Camila Mendez. Archie Andrews, also known as KJ Appa. Betty Cooper, Miss Lily Reinhardt. And of course, Jughead Jones, played by Cole Sprouse.
Wow! Hall H.
We've got a lot to talk about today, but I first, of course, would like to talk about our season 4 premiere, which is going to be a tribute to both Luke Perry and Fred Andrews. Roberto, when you and the writers were approaching this episode to begin with, what was your goal in this episode in bringing Luke's legacy to life?
I think it was exactly that. You know, we when Luke passed was towards the end of season 3, and we thought that rather than rush an episode in or a storyline in, that we would take our time. And the first 2 weeks that we met as the writers, we just talked about this episode, and it's exactly what you said. We really wanted to honor Luke. We really wanted to honor Fred. And we wanted it to be sort of a very special episode. Kind of standalone. It really emotional and really focused on what this character meant to this group of people, his son, his friends, and really the entire town of Riverdale.
Now, I understand there were a lot of special elements that you wanted to include in this episode, a lot of special people. Can you make a special announcement to the cast?
Yeah, when we were putting it together, we wanted the episode, as you said, to be as special as possible. And one of the things that Luke had talked about since season 1 is he really wanted his good friend Shannon Doherty to come onto Riverdale. And we tried to make it happen a few times. It didn't work out. But when we were putting together this episode, we really wanted to include her. So Shannon Doherty is in 401 in a really emotional.
Her scenes, and she was able to share a lot of scenes with all of our cast members. What was it like welcoming Shannon to Riverdale cast?
I mean, I think it was cathartic for all of us. I think it really put the cherry on top of that episode and really made a nice tribute. And she was overjoyed to have the ability to share some of the burden of Luke's passing that she had gone through in a sort of cathartic setting with the rest of us, and it was it was beautiful and it was touching, and she's so talented, and it was also so close to Luke that it seemed like a perfect fit for us.
Roberto, could we be seeing the lovely Molly Ringwald make more of an appearance this year as Mary Andrews?
Yeah, we definitely will. It so happened that that Molly was in Vancouver shooting an episode around when Luke passed, and I saw her, and she said, please don't introduce Archie's uncle. Please, I'd love to help out. I'd love to be more part of this. And we wanted the same thing. So yeah, she'll be Archie's mom, more or less full time this season, which we're really thrilled about.
KJ, how are you feeling about welcoming Molly in for more episodes this year?
It's great. I think it's going to be nice for the fans. We've never really gotten to dive into their relationship too much, so yeah, it's going to be cool.
Now, we didn't want to just keep this emotional. We want to lighten the mood a little bit, so Roberto brought something fun for us.
Yeah, it's funny, the show it is dark, and we're always putting our characters, especially Betty, through the ringer. But one thing we celebrate at every wrap party is we do a blooper reel. And I think we wanted to share with you guys as a reminder that really this is just so much fun. And these are like hilarious. We have a hilarious cast. So this is the blooper reel from season 3.
Those bloopers episodes were, of course, hilarious, but we need to remember that season 3 of Riverdale was filled with a lot of intense elements. We had seizures, gargoyle kings and a queen, Griffin Queen. We had murdered nuns, serial killer fathers, more boxing matches than I can count, KJ, and cults with adults posing as teens and then harvesting other teens' organs. A lot happened in season 3 of Riverdale. For our cast, what was one of the most memorable twists when you got that script? Want to kick us off, Lily?
Twists?
Yeah.
Probably the harvesting organs situation, but it all made sense because I'm like, it's the farm. I'm like, did you have this idea the whole time?
I've been wanting to do a organ harvesting story. So we talked about that being the big reveal, and I think, you know, when Chad came to do that role, we talked a little bit, and then that script came out and he called me and he's like, I'm harvesting organs, and I was like, yes, Chad, you're harvesting organs.
You didn't tell him that before he booked
No,
the role?
I did not.
Will we be getting more harvested organs in season 3? What's the vibe of season 4, Roberto?
You know, the vibe, this year the kids are seniors, and one thing we haven't really, you know, because they're too busy hunting serial killers and stuff, is we haven't really dug deep into the high school world. So this year we're really playing senior year. It's the last time that they're going to have a senior prom. It's the last time they're going to have a homecoming game. So we're really digging in deep into the high school franchise.
And I understand we're going to have a new familiar face within the hallowed halls of Riverdale with the new principal.
That is true. Principal Weatherby joined the cult, the farm, and he ascended. He ascended. So we're welcoming Kerr Smith, who's going to be playing the new Principal Honey, and we wanted to have her on the show since season 1. Of course, he was iconically in Dawson's Creek. He was Jack, and he already, I think, has film scenes with most of these guys.
What's it been like welcoming him to the Riverdale halls?
He's really good. I just shot a scene with him a few days ago, and he was very talented and very great in that role.
He's a legend.
We have to talk about, of course, the biggest cliffhanger that we saw at the end of the season 3 finale, which was that Betty, Archie, and Veronica were in a flash forward to spring break. They were in the middle of the woods, wearing not too much, and covered in blood, and the only thing we saw of Jughead was his iconic beanie. Cole, when you first read that script, what was your reaction?
No more smelly hat. No, I like it. I mean, I think the beanie and the whoopee cap has served as kind of the most iconic symbol for the Archie comics for 75 years, aside from KJ's rooster top. And I think the act of burning it is a really good hook, and I think it's really interesting. But I'm not going to spoil anything, which is why you guys are even listening right now.
Lily, KJ, and Cammy, what was it like for you to film that scene?
Cold.
Freezing.
It was like 3 in the morning and we were naked.
And we had no idea what had just happened. So they were just like, just staring into the fire. Yeah. Like, okay, just look serious.
Roberta, are you going to make us wait all season before we get those answers?
No, we this season, that's one of our big mysteries, obviously, what happened to Jughead and the kids that night. And we are building up at kind of the middle of the season. Our mid-season finale is going to be that night depicted in the flash forward. And in episodes leading up to it, we're going to flash forward to other events from that night and immediately after that night. So you'll start to kind of piece it together, I think.
We also left off on a major cliffhanger with Miss Cheryl Blossom as she welcomed her brother Jason back into Thistle House. Madeline, for Cheryl, can you talk us through her mindset a little bit right now and why she'd like to welcome Jason?
I would love nothing more. Well, a lot of people think it's funny that she has her brother in her basement, but when you remember that Edgar was hypnotizing her and using her brother's dead body for her to speak to Jason, it kind of opened up this wound again for Cheryl, and now she's got this Jason-sized hole in her heart, and I think the only way she could cope with the loss again is to just bring him back and not really deal with it. So right now we're in this place where her mental health is at an all-time low. I mean, she's talking to a dead body, and I think it's actually quite heartbreaking. We do have some funny elements to it, obviously, because it's Cheryl. You know, we keep it light, but it's like when you look at it, the scene's going to be a little bit dark.
But I also understand that Cheryl's going to have a lot of responsibility this year because she's looking after her twins, the little cousins.
I'm not sure who a better guardian would be, me or Nana Blossom, but I guess we're going to figure it out. Maybe we'll throw Tony in the ring, see who can duke it out for the babies.
And I'm also really excited because we're getting a Halloween episode this year. Why is this so exciting for Miss Cheryl Blossom?
Well, it's her favorite time of the year, naturally, as the gothic heroine that she is. So it's going to be a very fun episode. And
It's episode 4. We've never been able to do a Halloween episode because the schedule's never worked out. So this year, episode 4 airs on October 30th. So we've got a really fun, spooky episode for everyone.
Someone died.
Yes.
Actually?
Yeah, someone dies.
Someone at this table.
Someone important?
No one at this station. No one at this station.
So no one
Do I still have a job? Or?
Roberto, have you already figured out what our characters will be dressing up for Halloween?
You know, it's so funny. I do know what Archie's going to be. Huh?
Spider-Man?
I'm calling it out.
I know what Archie's going to be dressed as, and we're trying to get clearance on some DC comic book characters for Cheryl and Tony. And Betty is at home giving out candy to trick-or-treaters, so she's happy.
No fun allowed for Betty.
No fun allowed for Betty.
Sad.
No, you got a fun story, a scary story.
So I'm the one who dies. I'm the one who loses the killer that night.
Let's keep the conversation going with focusing on Betty. Betty and Jughead have always had a lot in common, like their shared love of sleuthing and the ability to look amazing in leather jackets. But now they also have a shared half-brother, as we were introduced to Charles in the season 3 finale. How is the introduction of their real half-brother going to kind of shake up their dynamic this year, Lily?
I don't know. I mean, I think there might be some awkward family dinners in the future, but I also think maybe it's a good opportunity if and when Alice returns from the farm for maybe Alice and FP to rekindle something, because I think that's really cute. But I don't know, they're not related by blood, so I guess it's fine, right?
There are categories for that on the internet.
But Lily, what would you say is Betty's biggest obstacle as she goes into season 4? She now knows that her mom was an FBI informant and she wasn't totally drinking the farm's crazy Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, I think she feels a little betrayed by her mom, clearly, for having method acted her way through that entire season, being the FBI informant. But also she's grieving the loss of her father, whom she feels like she can't really miss because that would make her a mad person because the Black Hood house was a murderer, but he was also her father and there were years of him being good to her, so she's kind of struggling to understand whether she can miss him or not, and whether that's morally right, and Jughead is there for her during that, which is really sweet.
Well, and Cole, I understand that Jughead is once again introducing audiences to a new school in Riverdale.
Yep.
What can you tell us about his academic journey in season 4?
I think this is a prep school. So Jughead gets whisked away on a scholarship to a very sort of gossip girl, Upper East Side, preppy, pretentious, Richie Rich, Silver Spoon.
Richie Rich is a character on Riverdale this year.
Oh, love it.
No, he's not.
And he's going to be the new blood, and he's part of this writing scholarship. So he's part of this little Dead Poets Society that they have over at this new school. And Jughead's already kind of a pretentious character, so he's going to be out pretentious by all of these incredibly tall and beautiful people. But yeah, I think it's fun, and the school also kind of serves, I'd assume, maybe I'm just speaking out of turn here, but it serves as the setting for what, the flash forward?
Yeah, some of the one of the big mysteries of the season is kind of centered around Jughead at the new school, which is also kind of going to be a big rival school for Riverdale High. So Archie and the Bulldogs will be having a football match with the Stonewall Stags, which is the name of that.
Stonewall what?
Stags.
What are the stags?
Stags.
Like a horse?
Like a deer.
A deer.
Yeah,
Like a deer?
with horns.
What's the,
Like
this
a
is the
cow.
first time hearing of this.
Stonewall stags.
I understand we're going to be seeing a lot more of our sibling dynamics this year and seeing a lot more scenes between Jughead and Jellybean, which I'm really excited about. Cole, what are you hoping to see from their sibling dynamic moving forward?
I really like the dynamic in the comics where Jughead is so overprotective of Jellybean, which I thought was kind of cute in the digest. But it's also kind of it's kind of a weird thing for an older brother to do. So I'd like to see how Trinity works with feeling. I don't know. I'm maybe a bit uncomfortable with that. I like older protective Jug quite a bit.
No one's scared of you, bro. No one's scared of you.
I'm scared of me.
Camila, at this point, Veronica Lodge is the savviest businesswoman or business person in Riverdale right now. She's absolutely crushing it. What has it been like for you to see the evolution of her character from season 1 through season 3?
It's been great. I mean, I feel like we're finally in a place where Veronica is no longer back and forth with her dad. It's like a very clear villain in her life. And I think part of her storyline last season was her coming to terms with like taking him down and being very adamant about that, which she succeeded in. So I feel like getting her father in prison was her finally accepting that. And I think in season 4, we're going to see Veronica struggling with the repercussions of that, because Hiram is a vengeful person, and he's going to be causing trouble. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about like what starts to happen in episode 2. Do you know what I'm saying?
Say it.
I can say that, right? He's sending paparazzi to her, and which causes a distraction at school and gets Veronica in trouble. And because Veronica's making headlines, that's making it complicated for her to apply to colleges.
Well, also, both of her parents are in jail right now, so what does that mean for Veronica's home life?
It means there's nobody home, and she can invite whoever she wants. Wink, wink.
AJ, are you going to be shooting any scenes in Pembroke then?
I think there's a lot of scenes to shoot in Pembroke.
But Cammie, I understand you're also going to be having some extended family dropping in.
There is an extended family member in Veronica's life that she didn't know existed, which is definitely going to be another part of Veronica's storyline in season 4.
Anything else you can tease for us?
I don't think so.
You guys know about the storyline you two are in.
No, I just heard of this through Madeline, but Madeline can take it away.
Okay, well, all I know is you put your hand over my mouth if I say anything I shouldn't. Well, Veronica and Cheryl team up for a business venture and get into some sticky trouble.
That's right. we have a fun. Veronica and Cheryl are going to become business partners, kind of combining different aspects of their lives, and it's going to be really, really fun. It's a little bit like risky business.
I'm excited. Is maple syrup involved?
Shh. No comment.
We're making a maple syrup rum.
That was supposed to be a secret.
KJ, obviously Archie's going to be wrestling a lot this year. Wrestling with a lot this year, but I understand he's
Probably
a lot.
wrestling a lot as well.
Well, he does every single sport out there at this point. Probably still boxing, but he's going to be dealing with the death of his father. But what else can you tell us about his journey in season 4?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of football this season, which is going to be fun. I love working with Charles, doing all that. Charles Melton plays Reggie, so that'll be nice. Me and Mad Dog are spending a lot of time together this season too. possibly could be.
The big announcement about
Yes,
Mad
don't
Dog.
forget the announcement.
Well,
Tell
something
them.
that I'm really excited about actually is we're finding out his real name, which is something I just, I know you guys are really excited about.
We're all really excited.
We're all very excited about it.
No,
Mad Dog needs a name.
and he could possibly be being introduced into the Bulldogs, which could be fun. But yeah.
Cool. And you can't talk about football and Archie without mentioning music. So what can you tease for the fans that's coming up?
Go for starting a band,
Called?
the Archies.
Roberta, why did you want to bring this iconic Archie's comic band to life this season?
You know, it's funny when I originally pitched the TV series. In my mind, the end of season 1 was going to be a big battle of the bands between the Archies and the Pussycats, and of course, the show then became what it became. And as we were getting ready to do a bunch of stories set in the high school, because it's senior year, I was like, it's this year or never. So we're doing a Battle of the Bands episode, which I think will be really, really fun.
Who's on what?
Yeah,
Archie's playing.
Break the instrument
Guitar.
for us, Roberta.
Yeah, well, in the cartoon, Archie's guitar and lead singer, Veronica is tambourine.
No, that's Betty, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's Betty is the tambourine.
I think she's the tambourine.
Jughead is on drums, and then Veronica keyboard.
Maybe.
Saxophone.
Down.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Saxophone.
Saxophone.
For sure, saxophone.
Cole, I think I speak for all of us when I say you blew everyone away on the song 17 in the musical episode. So is Jughead singing going to be a more regular occurrence? Every episode.
I don't know, Roberto, is it?
Jughead joins the a cappella band, a cappella club at the Crumble. No.
Oh my god, I actually know
No.
That would be so good.
I do love every time we get to hear Madeline sing. She has such an amazing voice. We'll be hearing her more this year as well.
Yeah, definitely. We'll still be doing. We're definitely going to do a musical episode the way we did in season 2 and 3, and we'll have songs kind of throughout the season as we normally do.
Thanks, Leanne. That's all I know.
Well, it wouldn't be Riverdale unless we, of course, talked about some relationships. So we're going to go through some of our favorite couples right now. And for our cast members, you can tell us what you know is coming up for them, and then also what you think their ideal date would be. So, kicking us off, Madeline, what can you tell us about Cheryl and Tony in season 4?
Well, I love them together. We come off in season 4 starting with them in a fairly strong place, like they're starting off well. Obviously, Cheryl is keeping a body-sized secret from her girlfriend, so I think we'll probably get into the stickiness of that in a little bit. But I, Madeline, truly hope and believe that Shoney's endgame. I think they're so sweet together, and Tony brings out such a great side of Cheryl. So we'll see, I guess. It's up to this guy right here. And then I guess our perfect date would be going on the motorcycle and just, going around the block, staying at home, watching a movie, I don't know.
Amazing, cute
Dope.
stuff. Very cute. Lily and Cole, what can you tell us about Betty and Jughead in season 4 and their ideal?
I don't know. I'm not told anything, but love you too, guys. We are, Jughead is going to prep school, so he's only going to be in Riverdale on the weekends. So I don't know. I think Betty is really supportive of him, and she thinks he's such a good writer, and fully supported him going to this school because she wants the best for him and for his education. He wants to be the first Jones man to go to college, so she's super supportive of him. As far as their relationship, I think they're strong, but I'm sure something's gonna happen.
Yeah, as of now, they're super strong. But I'm sure the prep school in there, I'm sure there's going to be, a little bit offbeat outsider, manic pixie dream girl inside of the prep school. It's just the same kind of offbeat as Jughead. I have no idea, but they're super strong right now. And I think the distance can make the heart grow fonder.
And if you had to plan an ideal Bughead date, what would it be?
I was thinking probably like an exit game. You know those games?
Yeah, the escape
room. They'd solve it in like half a second.
Can't escape your feelings.
Right.
And escape your feelings.
AJ and Cammy, what can you tell us about Veronica and Archie this year?
Pretty solid, eh?
Solid as ever. Archie's killing it right now. I think with both of them going through stuff this season, I think it's good they have each other. It means a lot to both of them.
Yeah, I think especially with everything that's going on in Archie's personal life. We saw Veronica last time when something tragic happened. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to be a girlfriend for him. And then this time we see her really stepping up to the plate and being there, being supportive, being strong for him, and it's made them stronger.
And their ideal date?
Their ideal date? I don't know. Like
A shower.
under the shower. Probably a shower. Another fireside rendezvous. KJ's face.
Sick. Sweet. Cool.
Roberto, which other of our Riverdale couples will be heating up this year? Will we maybe finally get an on-screen kiss between FP and Alice?
Yes, we will definitely be getting an on-screen kiss between FP and Alice, for sure. One of Kevin's old flames is going to be coming back as well.
Well, which leads me into our next question. Now, I'm so thrilled to have all of our actors here today, but I, of course, do want to talk about some actors and characters who are not here today so we can kind of get a little scoop on what's going on with them in season 4. Roberto, fans have been asking for years about Tony Topez's backstory. Is this the year we're going to get it?
We are definitely getting her backstory. I will say that we do know some stuff about Tony's. We met her grandfather once. We know that her uncle wasn't supportive when Tony tried to come out. So we are definitely going to learn a little bit more about that. And I think we are going to see Tony in a good place. And we got some fun stuff planned, for instance, on Halloween for them.
Like what? Do you want to spill the tea or?
Let's go ahead.
So we will be getting more
Yes,
details.
for sure.
Fantastic. Now, Kevin, he can never seem to catch a break. I'm excited. It sounds like an old flame is coming back. What else can we expect from him in season 4?
You know, one of my favorite things is that in episode 2, we are telling a really strong Benny and Kevin story. And we were reminded every year we rewatched the pilot that Kevin was always hanging out in Benny's bedroom and they were always gossiping and stuff. So we're getting back to that friendship, I think. And, you know, he's going to be trying to direct a musical in which no one dies. And
Betty's a little mad at him
Yep.
right now because the last time we saw him and her, he was dragging her across the floor, if you remember.
To get her organs removed.
Right, so there's some reparations to be made.
Veronica would never do that, just
I know.
With Josie off in New York, aka starring in the upcoming CW series Katie Keene, is there a chance that we can see her return to Riverdale this year?
yeah, actually, Josie already came back. She came back for episode 1. We wanted everyone to be a part of that episode, and she came back.
And what about Mr. Reggie Mantle?
You know, we're definitely going to see a lot of Charles, and KJ alluded to seeing a lot of football this season, which we're going to do, and Charles. And I think one of the first things that kind of happens is a reckoning between Reggie and Veronica. Because we went from Reggie's over at Veronica's house, and then the next thing we know, Veronica's kissing Archie under that big tree.
yeah. Yeah, there's a scene in episode 2, which is really sweet. We get to see a little bit more of Reggie's vulnerable side. And there's a beautiful Reggie story in that episode.
We kind of get underneath, you know, why Reggie acts the way he does, and you know, we've alluded to some problems in the Mantle household, so we're kind of gonna unpack that in a bit, and it's a great friendship story.
Which leads me perfectly into the fact that I would love to focus on some of the female friendships that we have in Riverdale, because in my opinion, it's some of the best friendships that we've seen on screen. We know that we're going to be getting more from Madeline and Cammie together. When you guys get to share scenes together, what's your favorite part about Veronica and Cheryl's dynamic?
I think they're like similar but different.
Yeah.
You know, the way they communicate.
They have a similar energy.
Fiery.
Yeah, they're fiery. They
Cheryl
don't stop.
Sassy.
Sassy,
Sassy.
campy. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, witty.
Scary.
You know,
Yeah, probably that too.
A little
I feel like
scary.
it's like fun to see us together because we're,
we're such a duo.
we're such a duo.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's also fun to see
Yeah.
the cousin dynamic between Betty and Cheryl. What is it like for you guys to go toe-to-toe in those scenes together, but also still have those heartwarming moments?
Well,
I mean, I think Betty's kind of accepted Cheryl for who she is, and she takes everything Cheryl says with a grain of salt. And it's like, whatever you say, Cheryl. Like, she's just not really too affected by her insults. But nothing I love more than hearing you say, Cousin Betty. It warms my heart.
maybe we can go to group therapy together. Family therapy. You're like my last member left.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
We
for
can
us.
watch the twins
Because both of our
together.
parents were serial killers. Oh my god.
Oh my god. We have so much in common.
And of course, every time we get to see B and V together, it's so much fun. Lily and Cammie, what would you like to see in that dynamic duo this year?
More.
More.
More. You just want to work together more.
I love B&B. I think they're so cute when they're together, and they're just like a really good duo, and they're always very supportive of each other. And I think they're definitely going to need to lean on each other a lot, considering both of their parents are now away. So they're definitely going to be leaning on each other, which will be good.
Why don't you, Betty, you should come stay at the Pembroke with me.
She's at the ex-Cooper house. It's what it's called in the script, the ex-Cooper house.
It's not even the Jones house, it's just the
Nope.
Cooper house.
Yep.
Well, I have an extra room at the Pembroke, you should come through.
I've lived there like a couple times throughout the show, and I always end up back at the ex-Cooper house. In my bedroom, that never changes.
It's always weird when someone comes to see you, Lily, and it's at the Pembroke because you lived there for a few episodes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And also for our three ladies, will we be seeing the return of the Vixens this year?
You
Yes.
will, bright and early.
Is there do you enjoy shooting the Vixen scenes, or is it more difficult because it goes into the extra choreography?
I think it's fun because it's all of us together and like we get more time together to rehearse. I guess if you look at it that way, it's fun.
Yeah, and choreography at this point is like a normal thing that we do now.
I would say like at least, half the episodes. are
Even more so
still
outside of cheerleading than anything else. We have a lot of like dance now. We have a pretty fun one coming up. I'm not going to talk about it, but
Lily, do you want to answer it once and for all? Is Betty still a Vixen?
I don't think so. I mean, I hope not, because I hate dancing. And I'm like,
Oh, which is so good.
that was a dig at me. I thought you said I was good. The musical was good. Anyways, I just let them dance and I'll just clap.
Okay, but you can